What the fuck is going on? Today is October 24th. We're going going over pre-markets, open markets for the penny stock world. We're going to start with Bivi, B-I-V-I. This one was a recycled name. It had an offer yesterday towards the end of the trading day. Again, stuff like this that's recycled, you're really not going to get a whole lot going here. For the most part, actually these flags weren't like that terrible, honestly. But again, most recycled names, they're just low volume and not that good to trade. Both of these nuts up next. Anytime you get this type of price action, usually open market is dead, which in this case it was. Low volume off the start. The only thing we really had going for it was the 200 level here, but nothing worth looking at or trading in my opinion. CCTG. This one was interesting. I didn't really love the pre-market here. It started to fade at 6 a.m. all the way till 9:30. One of the biggest bullish things I can see in this market outside of breakout trading or high momentum trading, which is to me extremely risky. We have this open market, open bell push, and a few times both today and yesterday we've seen this type of pattern, and then they all freeze up at VWAP. And as much as this kind of isn't extremely bullish, to me this is one of the cleanest or clearest patterns we've been seeing. But so basically we're going to be looking for open market pushes. So from here, looking at 255 to 3, you know what, 10-20%, whatever the fuck that is. We take that all day every day, and then once it starts to fade back down, she got cooked like a brisket here. So before last week, 2 weeks ago, something like this could have came back up, pushed over to here, dip back down to VWAP and then go. We're not really seeing that anymore. Best case is this kind of double tops with this and then fades. So you just got to be careful with that. CNSP, this one was also a multi-day recycled name. Did every stock just have like a halt or something, or a offering here? I don't know what the fuck's happening. I wasn't around yesterday, but I know Bivi, I think, had an offering. But again, nothing going on here. Not worth taking any trades. DBVT. Again, everything just got smoked. Maybe I'm just oblivious right now, but should probably go back and just double check what was happening over there. But this thing again, nothing going on, no volume. EFSH. Okay, so this one was a no pre-market. This one, stuff like this for me is hard to watch because my style of trading doesn't match this at all. I mean, we did have a double bottom here, but this is, from here to here, that's not my kind of flag. So we're seeing a lot of this. This pattern has shown up a lot today, and I think in the previous days this week is just straight up and basically straight down. If you catch backside, you can get a bounce here or there. I think it's more difficult, but there's still I mean, this kind of held this 230 pivotal level. But if we're looking at the front side, and I'm trying to look at, okay, where is the best place to take a trade? I mean, if you start to notice this early, maybe you can just get in. I still don't, for me, it's hard to understand where is my risk point on something like this. And especially if you're getting in down here, the volume is dog shit. So it's really hard. And this is the igniting candle, halts, keeps going. There's really even no potential dip here that I like. Maybe here. Straight up, and then straight back down. We're not really getting any 1 minute kind of dips. So like something like this in previous years maybe would have held and then kept going higher. We're not really getting that right now, which is fine. But Gotta watch out for this kind of shit. But we'll review a bunch more coming up. So LGCB, this one is very similar to FAMI from yesterday, and very similar to CCTG. So CCTG again, we open up, we rip to the VWAP, and then we die. So then we look at LGCB. This one a little bit different, but it did catch and hold and push. Did push over VWAP, but then it collapsed after that. So similar type of vibe to CCTG. But if we go over to FAMI from yesterday, we will see that this is literally the exact same pattern almost. Outside of it dipping first and then pushing, we have a push over. We have this trend line here. You know, once it breaks trend line, it's dead. So if we go back to LGCB, we have this kind of trend line here, and then it dies out. So again, adding stuff in first 5 minutes of the market seems to be kind of the way to go. At least as far as what I'm seeing pattern wise and consistency wise. Everything else outside of this is either straight up or down or just no volume. But again, we'll keep going. MNRP, MNPR. Some short somewhere in the world just got fucking obliterated. This is cool to see just in general. This isn't a pattern play. This is literally just winning the lottery, I'd say. That's pretty fucking sick though. I mean, what, we went from 5 to 30, I think. 35. It's a pretty fucking sweet squeeze. Although there's like a billion halts in this. And then it ended up actually coming back and double topping. So interesting. I don't know if this is going to set off even more. I think, to me, we were coming off of highs from last week and the beginning of this week. I think we're starting to settle down a little bit. There are still a lot of like kind of pump and dump type price actions, but this is a little bit different. This is kind of more black swanny type. So we'll see if something like this continues. I still think we're gonna get this kind of shit up until the election, and then maybe the election will kind of push the market a certain way. We'll have to see. But anyway, moving on from that, nuke. We dropped the fucking nuke. Again, we're seeing straight up, straight down, kind of a hold of a level and then push back up halfway. Very similar to what EF, or what I would call it, E-fish. Straight up, came down, settled, and then kind of pushed to the halfway mark of this breakout here, kind of like right here. You know, really nothing. Again, I'm not really seeing a whole lot. If you're in it from a swing, that's awesome, but you got to be quick with these bad bitches if you're doing breakout trades. NXL, another one that just kind of randomly popped up. There's a pivotal level here. At least this one, we kind of had some consolidation after this halt, and then it pushed. But to me, again, I'm not really, you know, this is something I'm staying away from. But yeah, I'm not really getting clean reads on this. This market to me is just kind of fucking all over the place, up and downs everywhere. So again, yeah, nothing really to review for me on this one. You kind of double topped. The first move is always the biggest move. That's pretty much what I'm seeing as far as consistency. But all right, moving on. NXU. NXU, huge move in pre-market. This one, I thought maybe could be even bigger, hit to the ones. But for the most part, if you have a huge pre-market, open market tends to not be as big. Usually the huge open markets either are no pre-markets or up 10, 20%. If something's gapping up like 200, 300% like NXU, you got to be really careful. There's usually not a whole lot left in the tank unless we're in a super, super hot market, which I think we're kind of cooling off a little bit. But even this, again, we have open bell, add areas here and here, kind of like a little double bottom, and then a push. So again, this is kind of the key area I want to focus on for tomorrow. It might not work out, but that's kind of where my main focus is. I actually took some here, kind of like a double bottom flag, but we ended up just kind of, you know, if we kind of have this uptrend thing going on, yeah, it just kind of faded out. So we're seeing kind of small pops, and that's kind of it. So moving on, Peggy, my girl. This thing basically no volume, kind of VWAP, fail, reject, nothing to look at. QS was a higher float stock. It did have a nice hold of this 200 at 610. Again, a nice example of morning dips or open bell ads and push. This one actually did produce kind of a small flag here to a VWAP. This is nice. Would love to see more of this if we can get that maybe next week or whatever. But for now, this kind of ad area is super nice. And this thing also just melted like fucking Dove chocolate. I mean, you gotta love to see that. Just straight up, straight down. That's just the kind of market we're in. Just gotta be careful. TVGN, multi-day. It did hold over yesterday's highs at 3. Nice kind of flag, but then just fade off into oblivion. VE. This thing went straight up, straight down. Again, just got to be careful. Don't be adding dips over VWAP or anything like that. You just kind of let this stuff settle if you want to kind of trade backside. Xena, I actually did add Xena here just in case it did pop. Unfortunately, I got on the wrong one, but it is what it is. If this would have went, it would have held this kind of zone, so it didn't go there. But this thing just ended up fading the whole day, so it is what it is. But overall, this market to me is dog shit. We were, I think, last week super hot with a lot of good patterns. We are getting into up-down mode and kind of dog shit. So let's pray for some hotter stuff next week and some more clean action. And yeah, peace.